as a sensor. So if we want to see what's on in the back seat, if we want to see, oh crap, I need to get OBS away because I'm watching two versions of something. If we want to see the sensor, then what we're going to do is we're going to use NVS mode, and that's obviously norm. So that's panning around with our line of sight, PIN-BIS in FLIR mode, and if we take the HDU away from your eye, that's going to keep happening, which I may have unbound because it's doing something else. Controls. Yeah, I have. What on earth did I bind that to? Oh well. Gonna open another program.
These challenges of binding are really making your sim pit seem less impressive.
Oh, it's only because I've got my touchscreen wasn't switched on. So the big ass button that I've got that does it automatically, that's in front of me, that does that on a huge button, wasn't enabled. Anyway, yeah. So there's the NVIS switch. So we've taken that HD away from our eye, but it's still actually doing that in the background, right? So if we bring up the video page and we bring up Pilot HMD, you can see there. You know, we could then go to whatever we want, like bring the engine page up, and if I unpause, like that's still following my head.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't got the symbology. And the other thing in the video page is if we bring up Pilot Flight Display, it's going to overlay the whole of the pilot's PIN-BIS on there, IHADs on there. So not only have they now got the FLIR, but I've actually got everything the pilot's seeing, including his symbology, regardless of my symbology on the IHADs.
Okay.
And that's not relevant in the back seat, but in the front seat it might be different. So you can see those match. So that's what that does. And then if we go to video and we bring up Pilot Sight, then because the sight select at the moment, which you see here, still says Pilot HMD, then we see the same thing on the video there. The only other option for Pilot Sight is FCR. So if we had the pilot sight selected and he changes to FCR, this video will change to FCR. If we've got Pilot HMD selected, then we're always seeing his helmet regardless of whether he's using the FCR or the helmet. Okay. Right? So that's what that does. And the Copilot does the same. And then TADS gives you TADS regardless of whether anybody's using it. So that's what video does. And that will become important in about 3 seconds time. So no video. Okay, so that's using this as a sensor, and that the verbiage is really specific here because that's not a sight, that's a sensor. And the only option,
just looking through it.
Yeah, looking through it for flight symbology. And as a sensor, it appears on your helmet display unit, whatever you're doing. Like, so if you're doing something else with the helmet display unit, which you can't do in the back, but you can in the front, and you put this switch in a setting, it just does this. And if you go fixed, it's going to push that forward. Let me just do that on that button, it's easier. That's now fixed forward, so I can turn my head and nothing's happening. And this hinky thing where the horizon line's rotating, that should not happen. You should just have fixed, because the turret does not rotate, right? So that should stay horizontal as you rotate your head, not
rolling right now. Yeah, okay.
Do that. What should happen, however, in norm is it should not keep level, because if you think about it, the aircraft's actually nose up at the moment because it's like sitting, so the turret is actually slightly towed nose up. So what should happen as we look left is it should get a bit of a left tilt to it, and it's doing that in which maybe it sort of is, I don't know, but this shouldn't happen. Right, when you twist your head over, the turret cannot rotate. It will still just give you the horizon, the picture there.
Okay, so the video is not corrected, anything straight.
It's not corrected in roll at all. No, it's all it does is it orients your line of sight in pitch and yaw with the line of sight of the sensor. So it's coincident centers, but it's not coincident everything else. Okay, and then we can switch this off, and that's all we can do in the back seat. Now, if we go to norm here, and then we use this switch on the collective to switch to TADS, we've just stolen the TADS off the gunner. And the reason we've done that is because we have got this switch, which overrides God, the world, and everything, set to norm. And now we've just told this switch to connect to the TADS. So it has now overridden everything. It said, we need the TADS as a flight sensor to fly the aircraft with. So just give it to me. Give it to me now. And now we've got TADS, and you can tell it pans really slowly because it takes fucking ages to catch up.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. And it'll do exactly the same, and we can go fixed forward as well. So there we go. So fixed forward. So actually, what I was saying about looking forward and having fixed references. If you are struggling at night, one of the ways of doing this actually, and I genuinely, this is the thing, right? NVIS fixed there, it tells you it's fixed. Put the TADS fixed forward. If someone's looking around doing obstacle clearance, this is one of the times you might want to flip the sensors. So have the person in the back seat fixed forward TADS, person in the front seat on the pinvis checking left and right and looking at obstacles. Having said that, just do it on goggles. But, options. Okay, right. In the front seat, this is more complicated because right, let's do show, stop, right, flip my switches over to the front seat. So we can do exactly the same thing, right? And we will default in the front seat to the TADS as a sensor. So same switch, I'm going to flick it to norm. We've got TADS as a sensor. You can tell it's slow, D, and we can do the same thing. We can go fixed on this guy, and it's fixed forward. And we can also steal the pinvis off the pilot. So we hit that same switch in the opposite direction, pinvis, and now we've got pinvis. And we're panning around much better, right?
Yep.
And that's as a sensor. Right, if we switch that off. Now what we're going to do, completely ignore that switch down here, completely ignore the sensor, everything. We can use the sight select switch, which is either this one here, that dude, yeah, or it's on the collective. And so we're going to go sight select TADS. So it's changed the bottom left. You can see your active sight. Copilot HMD is my active sight. TADS, and then I will have radar and link as another option. And now we've got TADS. And it's our selected sight, which has automatically chucked it on here and on the TDU. And because it's not slaved, we can pan around. And if we have the HDU up, it's now panning with my thumb controller on the TDU, not with my head.
Yeah, so that's what I mostly did.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, as a sight, what's the other thing that's happened is we've now got a sight symbology, not flight symbology. So this is why it doesn't really matter that your IHADs are synced, because most of the time when the gunner is using the TADS in combat phase, this is the TADS view they're using. So it doesn't matter that they're sharing a flight page with the pilot, because they're not looking at the pilot's flight page. If we want to look at the pilot's flight page, we can go to video, bring up the pilot HMD. Now it won't work because it's George in the back seat. But if you want to look at what the pilot's looking at, bring up the pilot HMD there, right? And he's flying pinvis. You'll see his pinvis there. So you can have that up and also have your TADS up if you want, either on the monocle, or you can have his pinvis there and your TADS here, and that's fine. And that works in DCS right now. If you want this sight to slave to your helmet movement as a sight, then the way to do that is with your ACK sources. So we're going to go over here, acquisition source, and we're going to choose our own helmet as the acquisition source, right? We're in the gunner's seat, gunner's helmet as our own acquisition source, which seems really stupid, right? Because that's now saying that our acquisition source is where we're looking. And why would we want to do that? Well, we can do that because we can slave these together. So now, when I hit slave on this guy here, right? Slave on the right hand grip. I'm going to hit that, and now two things have happened. One, it's now displaying the dotted cross, which it doesn't do until you're slaved in the gunner's seat. In the back seat, the ACK source is always displayed as a dotted cross, but in the front seat, it's only displayed when you hit slave. And I've also slaved my sight, TADS, to my acquisition source, helmet. So now, I'm tracking, right? And so I look, the dotted cross moves, and then the TADS catches up with it as fast as it can, right? So this is how you're going to spend most of your time in the dark in the front seat. Because what's going to happen is you're going to go, oh, okay, I can see a guy over there, look at him, unslave, and now I can look around and the TADS has stayed slaved. And now I can use the thumb force controller. Right, and I can zoom in, find that target, whatever, do whatever. Okay, reslave, now I can look around.
Yeah, I actually did that. I just wanted you to finish the tutorial.
And then the last bit that you were asking about, Onyx, was stealing stuff. So what happens here? Now this doesn't work at the moment because it doesn't change the symbology. It doesn't change the video. But we've got TADS up here, and that's the default. But we can actually go PNV, right? So TADS PNV, and you can see what's happened is it's changed to the pilot. It's changed to what the pilot's seeing. Okay, so this is what if you were in 2-player and this was working properly, you would now see this same thing, pilot HMD video. You'd see that over here because he's up. Well, you'd see the pilot night vision up here, regardless of whether he's displaying it or not. So if you go pilot HMD and he's not got the PINVIS selected on this switch, then you'll just see his symbol. Well, you won't see anything. If you go pilot flight, there you go. This shows you perfectly. Pilot flight, we're seeing the symbology that George is using, but he's not got the PINVIS selected. So he's obviously got his switch in off, right? So we're just getting his symbology. PNV here should give you the pilot night vision. So it will give you the PINVIS as a system, regardless of who's using it or where it's looking. So, and it will overlay on it the pilot's HMD queuing, right? You can see his site select there, not ours. Our site is TADS. So we are looking at the pilot helmet symbology overlaid on the PINVIS, regardless of whether he's using the PINVIS or not. But it will respect, obviously, fixed or tracking setting. So we can, again, monitor on there what he's doing, and that's what it's designed for. But that happens. Owner queue, and that's telling you when you pop it up that it ain't your sensor, right? You don't own that, and so you can't pan it around, and you never can. Now what's happening at the moment in DCS, and this is a bug, is you can see it's moving with my head, and that's because it's actually overlaying the pilot symbology on the on the TADS, not on the PINVIS. And if I change my sensor on the collective, not my site, to PINVIS, it doesn't. You can see nothing's changing here, right? This is still showing TADS, and that shouldn't happen. It should change. It should be pilot vision video, TADS video, and those are fixed regardless of who's using that system. So the video page, and this is by design, the video page tells you what the person is seeing, and you choose a person to look at. In this, you choose a system.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how you interface with this, but you can see it's not giving you
additional stuff in the front seat.
Yeah, loads of additional stuff in the front seat.
Yeah, I thought it was this was wrong right now because it was showing the same video. And so, but I didn't know much.
Yeah.
Wrong with it.
But the other thing you can do is, so we've got TADS up here, right? But what you can do at any point, actually, let me show you this a different way. So what we're going to do is we'll go back to TADS here, right? And we will flash that up in GHS. Let's go ACK-source, fix. So what I'm going to do, I've gone to fixed acquisition source. So helmet, acquisition source is now out the front of the aircraft, and I'm going to hit slave, right hand grip, and there we go. We're slave to the fixed forward position, right? And I'll take the HD off. I'm going to bring my own helmet up here, so CPG helmet. So this is what I'm looking at, right? And this is the TADS. Just bring it up there, actually. If I hit this NVIS select thing, the flying controls version, right? I'm going to go norm there, and straight away it's stolen. That's PINVIS. It's stolen the TADS, right, from me being a site, and my site has gone back to helmet. So I was site select. In fact, I can't site select TADS. If I'm going off, I'm site select TADS. I've got targeting symbology, okay, and the TADS is pointing, wherever it's pointing, right? I'm going to pan it around, unslave, pan around. I'm looking for targets. If somebody in the cockpit takes the TADS, it's just going to steal it. So I can take it for myself if I'm sensor select TADS on the collective, and I'm just going to go NVIS mode norm, and it's going to flip me straight away into flight symbology, and it's going to change the TADS from being a gun sight to being a flying sensor.
Okay, yeah.
And I can't change it back. So it's bailed me out to co-pilot helmet as the sight to shoot with, because it can't use the TADS to shoot with anymore because it's a sensor, and I can't go back. I can press, like, I can go in here and press TADS on that all I like. It's not going anywhere. I could select the radar, but I can't select TADS. I'm stuck in HMD because I'm using it to fly with, and that would apply in the other seat as well. So if the PINVIS failed on the pilot, he could just go hit TADS on his collective, and he would just take it, and it would get, that'd be it. End of conversation. And as long as this switch is in norm or fixed, that locks whatever sensor that person has selected to them, and you in the front seat cannot fuck about with it on any of your little controllers, because it doesn't let you. By design, it's saying someone's using this for flying, you can't use it for shooting.
Okay, and how do I adjust the video in the IHADs in the front?
Right, so so you know what works in the back seat, right? That it's just this. Okay,
in the front seat somewhere.
Yeah,
in the front seat, the buttons are too big. He doesn't see them, so it's gonna be hard.
The front seat, the buttons are here, and the rotaries are here. So this is the flare.
Yeah, but okay.
I'll get there. Don't worry, I'm getting there.
Okay.
I know what you're gonna say. So we're gonna go TADS, and we're in TADS as a sensor, but we're gonna turn that off, and we go TADS.
So I was in TADS. So if you just show it with the TADS, and I'm looking for targets, and then okay,
like this. Yeah. So we're in TADS as the active sight, and we've got no sensor selected. So if I'm in this mode, the level and gain are going to adjust the FLIR level and gain.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And the rockers over here are going to adjust the TDU.
Yeah.
Not the IHADs.
Yeah.
If I change my sight select to helmet mounted display, these still adjust the FLIR in total for every display, but these ones now adjust
okay.
the IHADs.
That's a change then, yeah. So you can now go on the brightness there.
Yeah, and if I bring up the video,
no video. Okay.
yeah, but I can bring up TADS video here, right? And now I can change the brightness and the contrast, and it's changing the brightness and the contrast for TADS in the IHADs. So you can absolutely
brightness down, and now you can switch the
precisely
with the helmet. Yeah, okay.
yeah. And then
that was a trick then. Okay.
Take that back to off to enable the TADS as a sight.
Yeah,
TADS as a sight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
AC, gunner,
Okay.
slave. You get it. There we go.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, right? I want to look around outside and then use the display in the front to aim.
Yeah. The reason it's not a very recommended technique is that if you go down here and you're like, oh shit, I need to fly, put it in norm, guess what happens? Fuck all.
No, that's useful.
So less useful. So you need to rapidly get back on the this. And the other thing that I'm finding is that I don't know how well synced this is, because fucking hell, that's bright, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so it's if you've got the HMD selected as a sight, or if you're in fixed or norm, then these control this. But if you've got if this switch is in off and you've got TADS selected, then these control that.
Okay, so basically what I should do is turn the NVIS off on my left knee, and
normally, yeah,
and then use the display. Okay.
Yeah, the logical way the system is designed is that this switch is used by whoever is flying the aircraft. Basically.
But now if you select tabs, right, you're gonna have the video. So yeah,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. That's really strange. Yeah, you can't.
But if I want to get rid of it, I just select the helmet, turn the video brightness down for a video that isn't being displayed, and go back tabs. No video.
Yeah, but
Helmet.
yeah, again, but then you don't have it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Like, I wish there was something quicker than changing the brightness with it.
Yes. But there you go. That is the method. That is the only method, unfortunately. I mean, the other method is that, which is.
But it was
quicker.
actually okay to just look ahead, turn up the video and the hi-hats a bit, and then just lose that. The thing I couldn't see on that was terrain, but I could actually see the targets, and that's once I found them, that's all I needed.
Yeah, I mean, the sort of recommended technique is to run it like this, you know, to look around, and then if you want to use the video, just get rid of the whole thing.
Yeah, we had the targets put in, so basically I used them as a acquisition source, and then flew to them.
Queued you on. I mean, if you talk to any of the guys in the forums, like they do the real Apache pilots, what they tend to say is that the way of doing this at night is like that, and just switch it off. Just don't use it. You know, because actually you've got it all on your monocle. Because the thing about this, having the weapon symbology, is this zooms as well, right? So I can zoom this in.
Exactly, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and then if you want to find something, you know, you can just look around. Oh, I like the look of something over there, but I can't get quite on it. D-slave, zoom, pan, zoom, unzoom. Oh no, nothing. Unslave. Look around. You know, D-slave, whatever. So that's the way of doing it at night. And to be honest, in the daytime, the way of doing it is that, right? And just get rid of the helmet. Maybe if you want the tracking still working, if you want to be like, oh well, actually I see something with my eyeball out of the right hand side, well I'll just roughly put it, you know, oh roughly over there, unslave, and then look back here, and you'll be close enough for what you need, right?
Yeah, I could actually shoot stuff in the night vision.